Boom, 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 boom. Yo, what's up? Can I get 5 big booms? Boom, 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 boom. I don't know what that was. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Lil Makarov, aka Meat Toe. And hey man, we back. We back. We back. We black, but not really, cause I'm pale. And butt crack? I don't know. Lakers are 5. I don't know. But yeah, what's up, YouTube, man? I hope y'all doing good, bro. I'm doing pretty good. And yeah, man, we just back with another reaction today, man. Like always. Like I said, my name is Lil Makarov. In case it's your first time popping in here, I make reaction content. I react to and talk shit about whatever I want. I like video games and I like music, so those are the two things that I kind of go for, but it could literally be whatever. And obviously, you guys are also more than welcome to put down the comments or whatever, and you know, send me stuff you guys want me to react to if you like my opinion or just like to hear me talk shit about things, you know. So I'm always open for suggestions and things like that as well. And like I said, today is going to be no different. And damn, why does it look like bro done pissed himself? The old camera quality kind of fucks people up sometimes. Damn, 50. It really do look like bro done shitted himself. But yeah, man, so today we're gonna do a reaction. I was just scrolling through and I seen this video from a channel called I Used to Be Pay. Very interesting name. And then it was titled Lil Durk Got Arrested and Hip Hop Just Moved On, which is actually very true, because as someone who is a pretty big that is a pretty big Lil Durk fan, I was also very interested in seeing people not really like have the whole like free Durk movement, like other than like me, because I do it sometimes, just kind of like do it, whatever. I'll be like, yeah, I'll like make a comment about some shit, and then completely unrelated to music, I'll make like a comment on some shit and be like, oh yeah, and by the way, free Durk. You know. But yeah, other than like me doing it and like maybe a couple other people I see do it, like a lot of people, like there's not like a really big like free Durk thing like there was for like Young Thug, that was like, you know, free Thugger, you know, whatever, or like for Bobby Shmurda or Pooh Shiesty, or fuck, even Lil Wayne back in the day, Free Wayne, or fucking just a lot of artists, like especially around this time of music when 50 was young and popping and shit like that, and he had G Unit, and when fucking Tony Yayo went to jail, you remember, I don't know if y'all remember, but fuck, even Eminem had a whole t-shirt that said Free Yayo on it. So like there's been huge like free X artist movements that I've seen with a lot of artists, and it's just interesting that it's not the same thing with Lil Durk, which I don't know why, because I think he makes pretty decent music too. But honestly, I just have a feeling. I mean, I kind of have I think I have a feeling on why that's not a thing. And I'll be honest, bro. I think motherfuckers just don't care no more. Like it's weird to say, but like I think after Thug, I just don't think people care anymore. You know, I think people are just kind of like over the street shit. You know, people are just kind of over artists going to jail all the time, and I don't know. I just think people just don't give a fuck anymore. So, but I seen this video, so I'm very interested in seeing what this person has to say. So if you like that kind of content, if you like reaction content, stick around. Maybe you'll like me. Maybe leave a like, comment, maybe even subscribe. And as always too, I always put the original video I react to in the description below. So make sure y'all click that, click the original video, and come back over here and show this person some love. And yeah, without harping on for too long, let's get right to it. Lil Durk got arrested and hip hop just moved on.
For so long now in rap, it's been a tradition that when street rappers go to jail, it is headline news. And not only is it headline news, but honestly, some guys are more relevant when they're behind bars than when they're out and in the free world. Since 1990, pretty much every rapper that's gone to jail and done some sort of time, even if it's a few months, has had a free them movement.
Free Jeffrey. Yeah, see, yeah, even Thug was saying, not even Thug, even Durk was screaming free Thug for a while. I forgot about that. Everybody was screaming free Young Thug. And I keep Jeffrey on my mind, free Thugger, that's my slime.
With t-shirts and concert tributes, and especially in this modern internet era, a hashtag that trends all over socials. Think of guys like Meek Mill, Kodak Black,
Yeah.
Young Thug,
Yeah.
Bobby Shmurda. They've all had these types of movements where other rappers are constantly shouting them out and trying to keep their name alive while they obviously can't because they're behind bars. Yet when it comes to Lil Durk, it feels like he's been kind of forgotten. What's good, YouTube? It's Justice. I used to be paying. Today I'm back with another.
Also, I do kind of feel like this is happening to Durk, because I'll be honest, I hate to say it, because I like Lil Durk, I really do, and he's still very popular. But I'll be honest, I think this is happening to Durk as well, because I think after Von died, I don't think people really cared for Durk's music like that. Because I'll be honest, while Durk was in music and doing rap much longer than King Von, and for a while was definitely on like a pretty decent equal like playing field with King Von. After a while, once King Von really started popping, that motherfucker completely overtook Lil Durk's light for sure. And you really couldn't go nowhere. You couldn't go nowhere without hearing a Von song for a while. And then two, you really couldn't listen or hear King Von's name without having Lil Durk kind of attached to it, and vice versa. You couldn't really say Lil Durk or hear something about Lil Durk without hearing something about Von. They were like that, you know? And I feel like after Von passed, obviously Lil Durk had a lot of light on him because of the whole Slide for Von shit that was going on from like 2020 to like 2022, or at least whenever at least up until the whole Quando Rondo Lil Pop situation happened. And I think I really do think people just like, I think after the Slide for Von thing, after people kind of figured Durk did some shit that would equate to sliding for Von, people just kind of stopped caring. I think people only were paying attention to Durk to see what he would do as far as like retaliatory actions, you know? And I think once he got arrested and people found out, all right, you know, he got popped for it, he really did it, people just kind of stopped giving a fuck, which does suck, you know? That does kind of blow, because you thought you really had some fans and shit, and you really thought people paid attention to you, and it's like, nah, people just wanted to see if you would actually avenge your homie King Von or whatever. And now that you did it, now that you kind of I mean, I'm not saying he did it to appease his fans. I don't think that was the case. But, well, if he did it, sorry, it's all alleged, so we don't know if it's true or not. But if he did do what he's being alleged that he did, I don't think he did it for the fans. I think he just, you know, just whatever, you know, it is what it is. He probably just did it, you know, because that's his homie. And that's why you just don't fucking give a fuck what the internet says, I'll be honest. And especially too, you don't just go around and say it. But anyway, that's besides the point. I'm gonna start rambling on why I dislike so many artists that fucking just talk about the shit that they do in the streets like as if they're not gonna get in trouble for it. But you know, that's a whole different conversation. But either way, I think people stopped giving a fuck about Lil Durk after King Von, pretty much, and that does kind of suck, because it's almost like his career low-key is kind of dying with his homie, which really blows.
Another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about Lil Durk and how he almost feels like he's been kind of forgotten. But before I get into that, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. It helps me out a ton. Lil Durk was arrested by the feds in October of 2024, and this was a huge moment. Lil Durk is looked at as one of the real street rappers in this modern era, and there's always a ton of rumors surrounding Lil Durk and what he's possibly gotten into in the streets, and a bunch of speculation, especially when talking about the situation regarding King Von and the Slide for Von movement that was started online. Durk being picked up for murder for hire really wasn't a shocker to anyone that had been paying attention to him in his situation, because it was quite clear that he was trying to, let's just say, get Quando Rondo, and he had even hinted at possibly being responsible.
Nah, bro, it's all alleged, bro. All alleged. We don't free him. Free Durk. I'm gonna say that this whole video though, low key. Free Durk, bro. He ain't do it.
Responsible for the Lil Pap situation.
You get triggered by beat the shit out of your little ass, man. What are you talking about the Slide for Von comments? Still, I don't know what people still say.
Yo, and the crazy part was too with this whole situation, bro. Just I'm not even talking about Durk's situation. I'm just talking about the Von and Quando Rondo situation, the Von Quando Rondo situation. Them motherfuckers were homies for a little bit too. Maybe not like tight, you know, but they were cool with each other. You know what I mean? And it's That does kind of suck too. It's very weird that the dude he was like homies with, because there's a video of Quando Rondo like, there's a video of Quando and Vaughn in like the same room together, and Quando's like going crazy, bro. He's going all in on 63rd. You know how he used to go when Vaughn was around. People be like, oh fuck 63rd, yada yada yada. And that was Quando. He was saying fuck 63rd, they dirty. We hang out on 64th and 65th and blah blah blah. And Vaughn was having a good time. That man was ear to ear smiling when he heard Quando say that shit. And it's just weird, like not even like a year later or a year and a half later, that be the same motherfucker you done got into it with, and now you gone. But yeah, bro, it's crazy, cause them motherfuckers, they used to be cool, bro. They used to be cool, and it's crazy now that they're not cool no more. You know, that they're going neck to neck like that. But yeah, it is what it is.
You used to say, but you also mentioned a song, like, they be saying Slap for Vaughn, I think they trolling me. Yo, that song is fire, I ain't gonna lie. For some reason, I just don't see the comments no more. For some odd reason. I don't know. Might be the water.
Yeah, that shit was so stupid, bro. When I heard him say that to Academics, bro, I was like, bro, why would you say this shit, bro? If there's one thing I've learned with these fucking interviewers, Vlad, Adam22, and Academics, one, as much as all three pretend like they don't like each other, they're all tight, bro. They're all homies for sure. And two, these motherfuckers are the cops, bro. They be asking the most fucking federale questions you could fucking think of, bro. And I hate when rappers, bro, you're supposed to know and understand. You're not supposed to just say shit like this, bro. You're supposed to just let it ride, bro. Who gives a fuck what they think? Who gives a fuck? Let them try to pry and pry. You don't open up like that. This motherfucker, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't hear those comments anymore. Must be something in the water, right? That's so fucking obvious, bro. Why would you say some shit like this? And then be shocked you got picked up.
You be seeing the comments a lot? They kind of chilled out a little bit. I wonder why.
But what's kind of strange about Durk's current
So
situation is the
stupid,
perceived
bro.
lack of support from the industry, because Durk was one of the most well-marketed and well-networked artists in rap. Durk is a guy who really gets along with everyone in the game. From 2020 to 2023, you damn near couldn't find a rap album without Lil Durk's name on it as a feature. He rocked with 21 Savage, Future, Gunna, Young Thug, Drake, Polo G, Don Toliver, Trippie Redd, Lil Uzi, Lil Yachty, Moneybagg Yo, Kodak Black, Travis Scott, DJ Khaled. He even did a whole collab album with Lil Baby. Durk made a lot of connections in his time as a big rapper. So many, in fact, that people felt like they had to choose sides during the NBA Youngboy beef. There were so many people who felt like they had to choose between Durk or Youngboy. When NBA Youngboy was beefing with Lil Durk, he was constantly complaining about the industry picking sides, to the point in which he made 2 diss songs titled F the Industry. Not F Lil Durk, but F the Industry. He even made a whole diss song where he was kind of like dissing NLE Choppa just for one song, because NLE Choppa was picking sides. He was siding with Von and Durk. Like, NBA Youngboy even dissed Apple. He said F Apple Music because he felt like Apple Music was mistreating him and Quando Rondo and the rest of the guys signed to NBA due to their affiliation with Lil Durk. He even made so many connections that the enemies from where he's from claims that he was able to contribute to blackballing them from the industry from making meaningful connections, because Durk was already cool with so many people and they didn't want to.
I have heard that. I did hear that, because I used to listen to before I listened to Von and them, I used to listen to like FBG Duck, and I remember FBG Duck saying some shit like that too, being like, yeah, the guys over there, they be, like nobody want to come fuck with us over here, because all the, you got the guys over there that be, popping and whatever, and they be telling niggas, hey, I won't work with you if you work with them niggas. And that's very true as well. When you know about the whole Kanye Donda thing, when he was releasing his album Donda, and he was trying to get Ruga, who is a Chicago rapper that has issues with Lil Durk and King Von. He was trying to get Durk and Ruga in the same room together because he had them both on the album, I think. And Durk was like, once he found out Ruga was gonna be there, he was like, fuck no. And he like completely started shitting on Kanye for even working with Ruga. So I mean, like, I believe it. I 100% believe Durk definitely blackballed other people from his city, which is. It's definitely shitty, but I don't know, dude. It's just shitty.
mess up that relationship.
You trying to blackball 63, and then he spoke on that. If y'all rock with them, I ain't fucking with you. You blackballing, bro. You can't say that knowing that you one of the biggest artists out of our city on, bro. So now, anytime they see FYBJ Main, well, Durk already told me what time it is on phone number I can't fuck with.
Which is why it's so interesting that there isn't this like industry-wide push and support for Durk because of how well networked he was. And it's not like we don't have a ton of examples to go off of to compare to Durk. The biggest and most recent one being Young Thug. Now, Young Thug might even be more networked than Lil Durk at this point. Like, everyone loves Young Thug, but we saw how people treated Thug when he was behind bars. There almost wasn't a week that went by where someone wasn't bringing his name up. Like, he was constantly still relevant. And really the biggest difference between how people treated Thug when he was behind bars versus how they're treating Durk is what happened with their albums. Dropping an album from behind bars can often be positive promo for rappers. Like, obviously, nobody wants to be in jail, but there's no doubt that sometimes somebody being in jail when they're dropping an album can add to some of the suspense and some of the hype and make it a little bit bigger than what the album might have been if they were just out in the free world. When YoungBoy dropped Sincerely Control behind bars, it went #1, and it was his biggest debut first week that he had at that time in his career with 136K first week. Now, obviously, YoungBoy was building his career at the time, and he was just growing and growing in terms of popularity, and that probably was going to be his biggest debut ever regardless. It didn't become his biggest debut because he was behind bars, but there's no doubt that that added a little bit of mystique and a little bit of like excitement behind the album. From behind bars, when Young Thug was preparing to drop Business is Business, the whole hip-hop space participated in the rollout. Some of the biggest names in the industry posted a picture of a QR code which led to a countdown for when the album would come out. Drake, Gunna, Weezy the producer, Metro Boomin, 21 Savage, G Herbo. It felt like a collective effort to help Thug promote because obviously he couldn't do it for himself. Yet when Durk dropped his album, you really didn't see any of that. You didn't see a massive industry push to blow up the album. It just kind of came out off the muscle of Lil Durk. It was a release with some sort of notoriety because of the name attached to it being Lil Durk, but it didn't feel like a really big deal. You know, when Lil Baby's album came out this year, it still felt like a big deal. When Playboi Carti's album just came out a few weeks ago, it felt like a big deal. When Drake and Party Next Door dropped their collab album, it felt like a big deal. And Durk,
I don't mean to keep pausing, but I'm gonna be honest, bro. I think a lot of this happens too because of just simply the fact that all these artists that you just named off, Playboi Carti, what else did he say? He said Lil Baby, yeah. He said Playboi Carti, Lil Baby, Drake, Young Thug. All these artists are very much much bigger than Lil Durk. I hate to say it, because like I said in the beginning of the video, Lil Durk's fame and a lot of his like notoriety did come from the fact that he was just with King Von. I'll be honest, I think a lot of people who did pick sides on this whole thing, it wasn't really because they fucked with Lil Durk. It was because they fucked with King Von. And that just sucks to say because I think Lil Durk is a good rapper. He's a very skilled rapper. I think he's got a lot of potential, to be a very well-known artist, more well-known than he is now. But I think it's just the fact that everybody only fucked with Durk because they fucked with Von. Von, I think, was going to be that artist that really blew up, like really into the mainstream, and then he had his whole situation that happened, and he ended up, you know, he ended up passing away, and getting killed. But Durk, he's just not as big as an artist as all these other people, and I hate to say it, he just wasn't as big as an artist as King Von either. And it sucks to say because the man was very well known, especially in Chicago, for many years. But it's just he's not as big as all these artists you just named, and I think that it just simply comes down to that, bro. Like that's it.
His album came out this year, it still felt like a big deal. When Playboi Carti's album just came out a few weeks ago, it felt like a big deal. When Drake and Party Next Door dropped their collab album, it felt like a big deal.
And let's also not forget this album was a big deal because of the whole Drake and Kendrick beef, and then the I Am Music was also a big deal because Carti was teasing that album for like fucking like a few years, like what people say, like 3 years, 4 years, some shit like that. He was teasing that album on and off, so people are definitely just waiting for that Carti album to drop. On top of that, you also had the Kendrick features that people weren't expecting, so people were going fucking nuts. So I mean, you know what I'm saying?
And Durk's album just
we got to be a little fair.
Kind of flew under the radar a bit. Now, Deep Thoughts did go on to sell 64K first week, and that is a pretty solid mark. Like, that's not bad. That's nothing to just kind of, you know, throw out the window and be like, whatever. Like, that's still a good mark, especially for somebody who can't promote the album on their own. But when you compare it to Durk's other projects, it's definitely a lower number than what we typically see. Almost Healed sold 125K first week. So it's definitely a drop off. But again, for somebody who can't really promote their album, I really don't think it was that bad. And what that number tells me is that more likely than not, this album really only hit like the core fan base for Lil Durk. Only the people who really constantly tune into Lil Durk all the time and really still rock with him really heavy tuned into this album. And the casual fans who pop in and out when he's hot may have checked this album out. And the casual fans of rap who just kind of check out anything that's hot going on didn't really check this album out.
I like the album. I listened to it fucking first night when it came out. I was playing Marvel Rivals. The shit was pretty decent.
The casual Durk fans or people who just kind of tune into the super hot stuff either didn't know that Durk was dropping or they just weren't super intrigued because it wasn't a hot trending topic. In terms of what I thought of the actual album, it's okay, it's all right, you know, it's not his best work, but the album isn't bad. I'd say it's probably around the same tier as Almost Healed, maybe a little worse. There's definitely some good stuff on there, like the songs They Want to Be featuring Future, Monitoring Me, Untouchable, and a few others. There isn't any one song, though, that is blowing up that seems to be a hit at the moment. Vanish Mode is the highest charting song on the album at 63. That doesn't mean that something from the album can't eventually blow up, but that lack of a hit right now probably plays a big factor into why Durk does feel a bit forgotten, because typically with his albums, there was at least one song that stood out as super trendy on social media and TikTok or super high on the Billboard Hot 100. He's been such a major part of hip hop.
Yeah, I think the fact too that him being in jail does definitely affect it. Like, I feel like a lot of the promotion did come from Durk and his camp mainly, versus, you know, Thug being able to get the support of the entire industry to support his album from behind bars. So like, yeah, I feel like if Durk was actually out and was actually going around doing his interview tours like he usually does, and, you know, talking about the album probably would have sold a little more, and probably more ears definitely would have. There probably would have been like an actual track that actually, you know, was popping for a while. But yeah, being in jail does kind of fucks you up a little bit. Who would have thought?
In this era, really from like 2018 until now, that it is just a bit weird to me that his possible lifetime incarceration isn't a story that's constantly reoccurring in the headlines. Like, you cannot tell the story of rap over the last 8 to 10 years without Lil Durk. I think a big reason for this is that people have already kind of thrown dirt on top of Durk's grave. Like, most people think he's guilty and really has no chance of beating this case. So in people's minds, like, he's already kind of like gone. Instead of having hope that he beats the case and following every little last detail that comes out like people were doing with Young Thug, people are just kind of deciding to be like, yeah, it's over with, and starting to move on. Also, in modern day rap culture, it feels like we're kind of moving away from the days of fans really caring about rappers when they're in jail and kind of idolizing them in that situation. It just kind of feels like fans just don't really care about that stuff as much as they used to in the past. In my opinion, I think so many of these rappers have kind of fallen back off Lil Durk because they don't want to get caught up in anything he's caught up in, because him and his guys are dealing with the feds, not the state of Illinois or the state of California, the feds. And right now, the law is handing out RICOs like candy. And trying to beat a RICO is like trying to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. It's just not going to happen. The only reason that Young Thug is out right now is because he was dealing with a state RICO. That was not a federal RICO, that was a state RICO. Every rapper right now is walking on eggshells trying to avoid a RICO. They gave 6ix9ine one. They gave Casanova one. They gave Young Thug one. They gave K-Flock one. And there's even rumors that they're trying to give Lil Baby one right now in Georgia. Nobody wants to be a part of this. Nobody wants to be the guy that maybe just a bit too supportive in Durk and his, mission against the feds to where.
You know what? That's also a good point too. I didn't know the feds were trying to go around and give so many people RICOs. That's a good point. Because I was just sitting here saying, I think it's because of King Von. But you know what? That's also a really good point. That's also a really, really good point. Yeah, you know what? I could see that. I could definitely see that for sure. I could definitely see that. That's, yeah. I don't blame him. Honestly, with that in mind now, yeah, I don't think I would be too trying to be too close with Durk or any of these people, because it seems like RICO is the word of the day with the feds, dude. They're trying to catch a lot of people with these goddamn RICOs. Holy fuck. Yeah, okay, that's also a good point. All right.
Now the feds might be investigating you, seeing what you got going on, and maybe even trying to connect you to Durk and the rest of his crew. And also at the end of this video, I just want to nip a narrative in the bud that I've seen online that I think is just completely false, just not true whatsoever. Recently, I saw a clip of 6ix9ine saying that, I tricked Lil Durk off the streets, and I'm the guy who started Slide for Von, and I and the fans trolling Lil Durk tricked Lil Durk off the streets. He let the fans trick him off the streets.
I'm the nigga who tricked him off because I'm the nigga. No, listen. But listen, who started the Slide for Von shit? Who shit was that?
That's a crazy claim, bro. No. 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 I don't think. Look, I'll sit here and I'll have a debate on. I think a lot of these artists only fuck with Durk because of the King Von thing. You can debate me on that. Maybe I'm wrong with that. I don't know. That's just how I see things, especially since I am under the I'm definitely under the impression that most of the industry relationships are pretty transactional and pretty fake for the most part. But that's a conversation we can have back and forth. But the idea that 6ix9ine completely fooled Durk and bamboozled him and tricked him off the streets, and he's the one that started the Slide for Von movement. No, bro, this nigga, bro, I swear, ever since 6ix9ine came out of jail, bro, he's been really trying to really hold on to the whole street image. But it's like, bro, and I hate to say it, but actually I don't hate to say it. You not a street dude, bro. And look, I'm neither am I. So whatever. It's the pot calling the kettle black. It's fine. But the fact that even I'm here and a lot of people who aren't in the streets will sit here and tell you 6ix9ine's not in the streets. He's just he's not in the streets, bro. No. I don't think the fans and I don't think fucking 6ix9ine were the reason that Durk, if he's guilty of doing what he did, started that shit. I think if you are very much around, I mean, now you don't have to be around it, but like if you just understand the street politics and how they work, this kind of story is way more common than you think, and it happens on a way less level, or at least a way lower level than music. You hear about kind of stories like this that happen in the streets all the fucking time with people, bro. It's like one of the most, especially in like even in like movies and like in like black movies and black TV shows, it's one of the most, you could say, overplayed tropes of you got the two best friends, they do everything together, they run around, one dude's probably in the books a little more and tries to stay out the way, whereas the other friend is, you know, trying to go hang out with the boys on the corner and trying to be all cool, whatever. He's in the streets, and then that dude, you know, ends up having something bad happen to him. He gets shot or whatever, he gets killed, which then prompts the dude who's not in the streets to want to jump off the porch and get in the streets to get revenge for his best friend. And that's like the whole movie or show or whatever. It's so common, bro. It happens a lot. And it's not a surprise that, like I said, if Durk is guilty of doing what he's being accused of doing, it's a story that I wouldn't be surprised happened with the Durk situation, because it happens way more often than you think, and I don't think any of that has to do with fucking 6ix9ine or the internet. It's so stupid. I fucking hate 6ix9ine, bro. And you know what? And good for him. He's a fucking clout chaser, bro. He's a troll. He plays that role very well because he pisses me off every fucking time I see his little rainbow hair, bro. But no, this motherfucker's gotta let go of the street shit, bro. He makes fucking Spanish music now. Enjoy your shit. Rock with that, bro. He needs to just take a step back, bro.
It's just not true. Durk made this decision knowing full and well the consequences of it. He didn't need anybody to influence him. He didn't need Lil Timmy from Idaho to type in his comments, oh, it's life or fun. This was something that Durk was going to do regardless, because this is just what Durk values in his life. Full stop. Unfortunately, that's just the truth. This is what he values the most. Is it incredibly stupid? Yes. Is it incredibly selfish to value taking up some sort of street vendetta over being here to raise your 12 children? Yes.
Damn, Durk, yo, you got 12 kids, bro? I thought you had like 3. Nigga, you have 12? Oh, dude. Oh, bro, that makes me, honestly, now thinking about it, that makes me more pissed off at you, bro. Because, like, trust me, I get what you're doing, but, like, yeah, I agree, bro. You got 12 fucking kids, bro. What the fuck? You gotta just at that point, you gotta let shit go and be there for your fucking kids, bro. Because this kind of shit will give you locked up forever. You're not gonna watch all 12 of your fucking kids grow. Damn, nigga. Put a fucking rap on, bro. What the fuck?
Is it incredibly stupid to talk about the experiences that you had by not having your father in your life due to him serving 30 years in the feds just to go and do the exact same thing to your own children? Of course it is. But this is what Durk values, and he's made this clear to us since the start of his career.
Yeah, very true,
so,
yeah.
Me personally, I wasn't shocked one bit by him possibly doing this or being involved in this, and nobody should be. Nobody should think that, oh, he needed some extra influence from 6ix9ine, of all people, from Danny Hernandez to go and do this. This is just the type of person that Durk is, unfortunately for him, his family, and his children. But regardless, that's going to be the end of this video. If you made it this far, I greatly, greatly appreciate you. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. It helps me out a ton. I go by the name of Pay. Peace.
Oh, Pay. All right. Nice. The True Diddy Disciple video. That's gonna be so funny.
For so long now.
Yeah, man. I thought that was a really good video. I like that. I give that a like for sure. That was a good video. Yeah, like I said, in my opinion, I just think people don't care too much about Durk no more because of, you know, the whole Vaughn thing. But also that is a good point that he brought up, is the fact that, and I had no idea because I don't really keep up with like rappers like that and really pay attention to their lives or pay attention to if they're really going to jail or not. I mean, if they pop up, they go to jail, I'll see it and I'll say something, but I'm not really into it like that. So I had no idea right now that the feds are going crazy with the Ricos, bro. Like, goddamn, they're handing them bitches out like candy, bro. So also that honestly is probably way more realistic than what I said about they just don't like him because of the King Von not being around no more. So like, you know, all the relationships are fake. Honestly, I do kind of lean more to the side of what he said of, yeah, it's probably just because the fucking feds are handing out Ricos like it's fucking homework or some shit or like it's candy. And oh yeah, I forgot, I gotta leave my mic here because that way my voice don't fluctuate. But yeah, I think it is. They're probably just trying to stay out the way because they're not trying to get wrapped up into any bullshit, which, yeah, you know, that makes sense. That honestly makes a lot more sense. So yeah, hey bro, I like this video. This was a cool video. I like the opinion of Pay. This was nice. I think he did a good job. So yeah. So if you like this kind of content, if you like this kind of reaction, leave a like, comment, and consider subscribing. And like I said before, I'm gonna put this original video in the description below. So make sure y'all hit that description, hit this video, come back over here, give this man a like, give him a subscribe, show him some love. He did a great job with this, man. And I will catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace out.